Welcome to the realm of astrology. This is your daily horoscope for 2nd June 2021, which is a Wednesday. But before we begin, I want to let you know that I do daily video horoscopes, weekly video horoscopes, monthly video horoscopes, and monthly sun sign, rising sign video horoscopes. You can watch them on my channel on YouTube, or you can watch them on my website called www.realmofastrology.com. And before we begin, do hit the subscribe button. All right. So the first thing that I want to talk about for today is that Venus is going to change signs. So I'm going to move the chart a little bit up so that you can see that happen. And there it's changed signs. You can see that it was at, one moment, it was at 29 degrees of Gemini. And as I move the chart at about 6 a.m. Pacific time, it's going to enter the sign of Cancer. Now, Venus changes signs about 20-25 days, and when it changes signs, the energy in terms of our love, relationships, business partnerships, self-worth, values, skills, finances, all that sees a shift. So for the past 20-25 days or so till 2nd June, the energy in these areas of our life was very stimulated. It was a little bit of this, it was a little bit of that. There's a lot going on at the same time. And now Venus in Cancer is more about finding our comfort in love relationships, in business partnerships, in the projects we're pursuing, in how we make money, in our self-worth and skills as well. So that's the energy, and Venus does better in Cancer than it does in Gemini, I believe. So this is going to be a more relaxed energy when it comes to these things, and it's also going to be an energy where we will have to find our comfort when it comes to these things. So that's happening on 2nd June about 6 a.m. Venus is going to change signs, and that's a shift in energy. Mars is also in Cancer, so there is energy that about going within, about self-care, about finding our comfort, being comfortable, about our deepest emotions. The energy is slowly moving from Gemini, which is a lot of little bit of this, little bit of that. I want to know this, I want to do this, restless energy, to a calmer, let's go within, let's find what I'm comfortable with sort of vibe. So that's what is happening. That's, I think, the most important thing for today. Yes. And then I want to talk about two more things before we get into what aspects the moon is making today. The first is the fact, let me clean up the chart. The first is that Saturn and the Sun are going to trine tomorrow. Okay, today into tomorrow. The energy is building. Saturn's at 13:26 and the Sun is at 12:13. So we are feeling the energy of that trine build. And trine is a 120-degree angle, and it's considered positive in astrology. It facilitates things, it makes things happen. And in this case, the Sun is our soul, it's our identity, and Saturn is a builder, it's a decision maker, it's a hard worker. And trine is positive. So this energy is about building our identity, defining our soul, defining our consciousness, and it's not going to feel hard, it's going to come naturally to us. We're going to be able to define who we are. We're going to be able to take a decision regarding who we are, our identity, quite easily. It's just going to fall into place. And this is the energy building up today. And the next energy that's building up is the Pluto Mars opposition. It happens by the end of the week, I believe. And this energy can be a lot of things, okay? But Pluto, let's talk about Pluto and let's talk about Mars for a moment. Pluto is healing, it's regeneration, it's catharsis, it's also transformation, it's also ending things, it's also death, it's rebirth. And Mars is courage, it's how we take action, it's our drive, it's our willpower. And this opposition could very well mean that we may transform something, we may heal something connected to our drive, connected to our willpower, connected to our courage, connected to how we take action, and we're building into that. And this can be a very intense energy because these two planets are very powerful. They have a lot of intense energy, so this could bring out a lot of frustration as well. This could bring out a lot of anger as well. So be mindful of that. And Okay, yeah. And now I'm going to talk about the moon and the aspects the moon is making. So I'm going to move the chart back a little bit to 1 a.m. And at 1 a.m., the moon is going to sextile Uranus, okay? The moon is right here and Uranus is here. It's going to sextile. And yesterday we spoke about the last quarter square of the moon, but the last quarter square comes exact at about 1 a.m. What is that? The exact 90 degrees. The moon's at 12 degrees and the sun's at 12 degrees. This is where that square, which we spoke about, the releasing of the last lunar month cycle, which began on May 11th, connected to our self worth, values, finances, and skills, is being released, is let go of. And this energy will stay with us all week. And this energy is subtle. It's subtle, it's subconscious. So the release process has started as the moon makes the sextile to Uranus. As subconscious as this energy might be of releasing things, there could be something sudden, something positive that triggers you in that release process because Uranus is also sextiling the moon. And this could just mean a positive feeling, a happy moment out of nowhere. Suddenly you start feeling happy, you start feeling positive. So that's the energy at about 1 a.m. And moving on. Let's move on. This happens a little later in the day. So I'm going to move on the chart a fair bit. Okay, there we go. At about 9 or 10 p.m. at night, Pacific time, the moon will conjunct Neptune. They're going to meet up. Now, this could be a very magical feeling. This could be a very magical feeling, okay? And it's also a very sensitive feeling, and it could go both ways, okay? It could be sensitive in the sense that you can connect with the higher realm with ease because Neptune is the higher realm, or with Neptune, the conjunction could also bring about depression. It could also bring about some sort of deception or not being able to see things clearly. It could also bring about some confusion. It really depends. It really depends. And this is in a square to Mercury retrograde, 90-degree angle. So we, at this moment, we may be confused about something about the past. We may feel very magical, or we may feel very magical about something connected to the past. Either way, it can go either way. So that happens at 10 p.m. Pacific time. The good news is that Neptune is in a trine. Neptune is in a trine to Mars still. This energy is still in a trine to Mars. There is some positivity here, although it is squaring Mercury. So it can go either way. It can be the most magical feeling, or it can feel depressing and confusing. But I feel it's positive. I feel it's positive. So that's the energy for today. And I would say with Uranus, although Moon will sextile Uranus, and I said it's going to be positive, it can be sudden, it can be out of nowhere, and this feeling with Neptune conjunct the Moon, square Mercury retrograde, trine Mars, as Mars is building up to Pluto, it can go either way. It can feel either way, rather. The positive moment here is the Saturn trine to the Sun, the build up of that. This is definitely a positive moment here. And gut feeling wise, I do think it will be positive. That's what my feeling says, but it could go either way today. And now I'll give you a short background before I pick the card for the day to put this day into context. And if you've seen this before, just skip forward to the card section. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Saturn's here, Pluto is here. They met up at 22 degrees of Capricorn around here in Jan of 2020. And these planets meet up once in 33 to 38 years. So it's a very rare thing for them to meet, maybe once or twice in anybody's lifetime. And they met up in Jan of 2020 in Capricorn. And when they meet up in Capricorn, they change our material reality completely. because Capricorn is our material reality. And that happened in Jan of 2020. So that's something that I wanted to mention. The second thing I want to mention is that Saturn and Jupiter, sorry, they met up in December of 2020 at 0 degrees of Aquarius, about here. And they meet up once in 20 years. So it's a rare event as well. And when they meet up, they start a new cycle and end an old one. And they've started a new cycle that will be with us till 2040. And we will lay the basis of that foundation for the next 2 years. Okay? And the third thing I want to mention is the Saturn Uranus square. This is the theme of the year. This is the most important astrological event of 2021. And we'll feel this energy all year and even into next year. And on June 14th, which is not very far from now, these planets will come exact. The square will come exact. We'll talk about it then, but we are building up to the exact square. And what is this energy about? This energy is about getting rid of old things, old thought patterns, old anything, and embracing the new. And this process, since they're in a square, may not feel very easy. And this energy is also about being who you truly are and your authentic self. So that's the third thing. And the last thing I'll talk about today are the nodes. The north nodes here in Gemini and the south nodes in Sag. They were in the same placement between 2001 and 2003. So whatever themes, events, people, situation came into your life back then, you might be closing those out for good, resolving those or building on those. And we've been doing this since May of 2020. So that's all I will talk about when the chart is concerned. And I'll pick a card for June 2nd, 2021. Okay. These cards are quite big. Should we go with this? It says buy the book. Now, buy the book means that exactly following the rules, exactly, buy the book. And this card to me says that maybe today is the day where you might not want to be by the book, where you might want to do something that you feel like doing, where you might want to do something that is different, that is maybe challenging, that is not your usual, that is not by the book, by your rules, nobody else's. And perhaps this breaking out of what you've so well defined for yourself, see the elephants are walking in a line like that, maybe moving out a little bit, maybe moving out and venturing a little bit will help you find your authentic self, because Saturn and Uranus are building up to their exact square on June 14th. So maybe venturing out of our comfort zone a little bit, venturing out and breaking the rules that we've set for ourselves so rigidly will help us. And that's the message for today. And the number on the card is 11. Yeah, I think that's what this card means. That's what the energy for the day is. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do hit the subscribe button and share it with anybody who likes to watch daily horoscopes. Click the share button and send it to them. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.